Hi guys, this is Lady Jenna and welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here. So today we're going to be crocheting. Of course we are. It's starting to be a crocheting channel, but I enjoy it, so no worries. I found this pattern. This is a very old pattern. I did this pattern way back when I was in my early 20s, and I found this to be very nice to do. Now I thought I kept this but I couldn't find it. Most of the stuff that I made, I crocheted that I liked, I kept, but I couldn't find it, so I can't really show you. But this is the picture. You can get this free online. I will leave this in the description down below where to find this. However, this is what I am going to crochet, but not exactly. I'm not going to be following these instructions, not at all. So what I decided to do is I decided to, based on this, create my own pattern. Like you can see, I've started, and it's a challenge, but it's okay. So I'm going to go step by step with you guys, and this will be filmed in parts. I'm not going to do the whole thing today. So the first thing we're going to be doing is the head. So I have started, so this is how the head looks like. Let's go ahead, join me, and let's start crocheting together. Before we do start with the pattern, I just wanted to mention what I'm going to be using. Now, you can use any color skin that you want. The reason why I'm going this color is because it's easier to film. It's easier for you guys to see the stitches. But you can go any skin color. This is a nice one. I started a ballerina, and here she is. And if you can see, the skin color is a little bit darker, but it is harder to show you guys on video. You won't be able to see the definition or the stitches. So this is why I decided to go with a skin color that is a little bit lighter. And then you will be needing another color. This will be the bunting or the swaddle color, a medium 4. You will also be needing some white yarn, some ribbon, also 2 kinds of hooks. You need a 3.5 millimeter and a 4 millimeter. The 3.5 will be used for the hands, the head, and the 4 millimeter will be used for the rest. If you notice, I am using the Dollarama crochet that I purchased recently. I did do a video of these and I really do like them. I'm going to be continuing using them. And also you need your scissors and a stitch marker. I'm going to add this pattern on my screen so you can follow along as I do the head. Doing the head, we need a skin colored yarn, so I've decided to use this color. And also we need a 3.5 millimeter crochet. Our first row tells us to do 6 single crochet in our magic ring. So let's begin. So this is our 6 single crochet. Now we just need to close up the loop by pulling just a little bit. Don't pull it too tight because you're going to have some issues. Row 2, single crochet increase in each of the stitches around. So this means each of the single crochets, we're going to do 2 single crochets inside them. So the hardest is to actually do the first one, to actually grab our first stitch, which is this one, like this. And then inside we need to do 2 single crochets. So let's start. So this is 1, and then 2. Before I continue, I do mark my first stitch always. That's 1 and 2. So I do 2 single crochets in each stitch around. I remove my stitch marker and now I'm going to do row 3. 1 single crochet followed by an increase 6 times to give us 18 stitches. So this is our first single crochet, so let me just mark it down and then continue. So this stitch is an increase, so we need to do 2 single crochets. The next one is 1 single crochet. The next stitch, an increase, which is 2 single crochet, and you do this all around. Now it's time to do row 4. You need to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times to give us 24 stitches. Again, I'm going to do my first single crochet. I'm going to mark it down. Let's do our second one on the next stitch. And then we do an increase on the stitch there after. 2. So this is our increase. Then we do 1 single crochet into 2 different stitches, and on the next one we do our increase, and we do this all around to give us a total of 24 stitches. Now that we have our 24 stitches made, it's time to do row 5. Tells us to do 3 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times to give us 30 stitches. So let's do again the same thing. Let's do our first and then to mark it. Now I don't know if you notice the way that I crochet is I do not crochet yarn over, I crochet yarn under. When you do amigurumi, which is what I'm doing right now, to do yarn under only if your normal stitches are too loose. When I crochet, my stitches are way too loose if I do yarn over. So what I do is I do yarn under. So the way that I do it, let me just show you yarn over. So you go into your work, and when you do yarn over, the yarn goes over your hook like this and you pull, and then the yarn goes again over and you pull. But let me just show you a yarn under. So when you go yarn under, it's instead of the yarn going over, it goes under this way, and then you pull through. Same thing, instead of going like this, you go like this and you just pull the yarn. It does 2 things. It gives you a tighter stitch and you save some yarn because you have to pull less yarn through your work. So this is number 3. Now we increase. 1, 2, and then we do it again. 3 stitches, 3 single crochets, and then you increase all over. And one more thing I just wanted to mention about the yarn under. I will only yarn under if I'm going to do single crochets. If I do double crochets, half double crochets, I will not do yarn under. I will do yarn over. Row 6 is very easy. You just do the 30 single crochet all around. For row 7, we're going to do 4 single crochet followed by an increase 6 times to give us 36 stitches. Stitch marker. Two, 3, and 4, and then we do an increase. And we continue doing the same thing. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase in this one all around. We are now ready to do our row 8, which is 36 stitches all around. Again, you always mark your first stitch. And then you do the rest. We are ready to do our row 9, 5 single crochets followed by an increase times 6 to give us 42 stitches. So let's do our first single crochet, and then we place our stitch marker and we continue. This is number 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do our increase. And we start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. And again, we repeat this all around. After row 9, we do row 10, which is 42 stitches all around. And we also start with our first single crochet that we mark. And then we do 41 more. Our next row is row 11. And in this case, we also do 6 single crochet followed by an increase times 6 to give us 48 stitches. Our first single crochet that we mark, and then we do 5 more. We make sure we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we do. So now we do an increase. And we follow this with another 6 single crochet. And then an increase. And we continue this all around. Our next row is a combination of rows. We're doing row 12 to row 16. Each row you do 48 stitches. Do this all around till you finish row 16. Row 16 being done, you should now have this. And how to count if you have the right amount of rows is like this. So you start by counting this part. This would be 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So those are my 16 rows. Before I continue, I want to take care of this tail. So I'm going to pull it to tighten the middle. I'm going to use the needle yarn to thread the tail a bit. Okay, there it goes, it's in. And what I do is I just weave through the work. Now, if you're like me and you crochet tight, sometimes it's hard to thread, but it's doable. Just do one stitch at a time, and you change directions as well as you work this in. And then go back just to make sure it stays. So once you're done, I just cut my yarn. Now I do not throw away this yarn. I put it in a cup. The reason why I don't throw it away, I use it with my fiber fill. It doesn't go to waste. I don't want to waste anything. Okay, so now that this is done, we can put this away. It's time to start crocheting again. Row 17, 6 single crochet followed by a decrease. Do this 6 times and it gives you 42 stitches. Let's do 1. So this is 1, and I'm going to put my stitch marker so I know where I'm at. And then we continue. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now this is how you do your invisible decrease. Pick up only the front loops. Stitches made, there's 2 loops, one in front and one on the back, front back. You just pick up first one, then you go get the second one right away. So right now I've got 2 front loops. I finished my single crochet. So pull once and then pull a second time. And see, it looks invisible. It doesn't even show that I took 2 loops that I decreased. Let's do that again. So another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's time for invisible decrease. Grab the first front loop and then grab the next front loop. Pull your yarn and pull your yarn again, and you've got your invisible decrease. So just do the same all around. And now let's do row 18. 5 single crochet followed by a decrease, invisible decrease, 6 times to give us 36 stitches. So let me just start my first single crochet. Let's add our stitch marker and then do 4 more single crochets. Okay, that's 2, 3, 4, whoop, 5. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5. Now we do our decrease. Again, we're just going to pick up the first front loop and then the second front loop that follows, and then you complete your single crochet and repeat all around. Row 19 reads the same. 4 single crochet followed by a decrease, 6 times to give us 30 stitches. 1. Don't forget to place your stitch marker always. 2, 3, 4, and then you do your decrease again. First loop, second loop, and complete your single crochet, and then we start over. Do the same thing all around. Row 20. Row 20 says 3 single crochet followed by a decrease 6 times for 24 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and then our decrease, front loop, and complete your single crochet. So you do this all around. Row 21, 2 single crochet followed by a decrease 2 times to give us 18 stitches. 1, 2, and then we decrease, front loop, and complete our single crochet, and we continue all around. Row 22, you just do 18 single crochets all around. And always with the stitch marker. So just continue. Now for this pattern, what's most important is because we are going to continue, we're going to attach the body right away to my head, so we're not going to fasten off, but we are going to start stuffing the head now. So since we're going to also be changing color for the body, I don't need to keep a long tail, so I'm just going to cut like this. And also, so this doesn't get undone, I'm going to block it like this with a stitch marker. So if I pull, see my stitch marker has secured this. So now let's stuff this. So when I stuff my head, I like to take a little bit at a time. I just pull it and I start stuffing. And also I like to push it to the bottom, make sure it goes into all the little cracks or crannies, but since this is round, it's not too hard. Again, just a little bit. We want a firm consistency. We want a head shape. And it can take, it can take a lot of material to stuff. To put my fingers in and form a ball inside. For the firmness, it depends what you want. I mean, it can be as firm as you want it, and you just continue. I'm not done yet, but I just want to show you. Here is my ballerina, and if I push, see how the head is formed. So I like this kind of consistency. Now, as for the eyes, I'm not going to keep these eyes. I don't like these eyes on her. They're too dark. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some thread, and I will do just like little, not these kinds of eyes, more like eyes closed kind of embroidery eyes, and embroidery just a little nose here. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do a mouth, but yeah. So this is my ballerina, and I just want to show you through her the consistency of the head. And again, this is the same head. So if I compare, this one has not enough stuffing. So this is what I like. And of course, same thing, I placed a little stitch marker so that I don't lose. It doesn't get undone. So let's continue stuffing. This is part 1 of Swaddled Baby Doll pattern. And in part 2, we will be doing the body. I hope they enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please don't hesitate. Leave them in the comment section. Have yourself a great day. Take care. See you in the next video.